This is a Fullrigger, a fully rigged ship. In fact, this type of sailing ship is what describes the word ship itself. In order to sail a Fullrigger, you need the cooperation of many people. The perfect task for a training ship, but there are many hands to occupy. My name is Simon. I'm sitting in this rubber dinghy on its way to the training ship Geostay. Hello, I'm gonna teach you how to sail a Fullrigger, so come along. There are thousands of different types of sailing vessels, all with different masts, rigging and sail. From the most modern hydrofoiled multi-hulled ships to the Bermuda-rigged sailboats as we know them, to the almost century-old schooners and ketches with gaff-rigged sails, and to the bigger, square-rigged ships. Ancestors to these are the 15th, 16th and 17th century fleet and cargo vessels. If we go even further back, there's documented Asian and Egyptian sailing ships, and of course, the Viking ships. However, there isn't total clarity on when we learned to master the wind. The steamship and diesel engine's arrival abruptly stopped the development of cargo vessels under sail around the 1850s. Even though propulsion was forever changed, there was still a need for skilled seafarers to sail these engine-powered vessels. And which better platform could be thought of than the most complex sail ship out there? You guessed it, the fully rigged ship, a Fullrigger. Long after sailing cargo vessels were phased out, square-rigged ships were still being built with the purpose to train seafarers using traditional handcraft so that with that understanding, they could better perform their tasks on modern ships. On a Fullrigger, there are 3 different types of sails. Stay sails, square sails, and gaff sails. Stay sails are on stays, triangular in shape, and can either be used as a head sail or between masts. Other than the stay, there are 4 lines connected to a stay sail to keep it stretched. There is a halyard that hoists the sail upwards, a tack that holds the bottom corner down, and then there's a sheet at the midpoint and a downhaul to hold the sail back down again. Can you see where it is? Another type of sail, the one there are most of on a Fullrigger, is a square sail. A square sail has 4 sides and is bent onto a yard that sits at its top. A square sail is stretched by 2 sheets that are led through the yard beneath them and down to deck. A square sail can be taken in from deck by using the bunt lines and the clew lines. The 3 upper square sails cannot be stretched fully in the sheets, they are bent onto hoistable yards. The halyard that we hoist the yard up with doesn't only help stretch the sail completely, it also helps the ship's stability because it keeps the heavy steel yards further down on the mast when the sail is not set. A lower center of gravity gives the ship better stability in bad weather. The 3rd and last type of sail on a Fullrigger is the gaff-rigged sail, the spanker. There's only one, and its function is to adjust the amount of pressure on the aft part of the ship in order to trim the ship properly. Ask your local quartermaster if you want to know more about the spanker. In order to get underway with our Fullrigger, we need to set sail. This is done in a completely old-fashioned way by laying aloft, out onto a yard and losing sail. In a sejlrulle, as this is, the sailors let go all the sails at the same time so that it looks good. As soon as this is done, the sailors rush down to deck again in order to set sail by hauling in the sheets and casting off the bunts and clews. On this beautiful spring day, there isn't much wind, and the captain can easily have a group heaving up the anchor while the others set sail. As soon as the anchor is not touching the seabed, the ship will begin to move freely through the water. It's called to brace when turning the yards in this way, which is how to adjust the sails and their rig on a square rigger. The captain gives the orders to the sailors to brace the two most aft masts around, which increases the pressure aft and forces the front of the ship into the wind. The ship's rudder works only when the ship is making way through the water, so when the ship is almost still as it is in this picture, you must use the sail to turn the ship to the direction you want to sail. The anchor's position in the seabed combined with the sail pressure aft creates leverage here, which allows the ship to turn into the wind. As the ship is turning, as a result of the effect on the main and the mizzen mast, the captain gives the order for those at the capstan to heave up the anchor the last bit. In front of the ship you can see a stripe of mud that the anchor has dragged up from the seabed. This indicates that the ship is still moving slowly astern, partly because of the ship's inertia. 300 tons of steel doesn't just automatically stop moving, and partly because of the pressure on the foremast, which is now directly against the wind. Therefore the foremast must now be braced around so that the wind is on the aft side of the sails, and this will help pull the ship forward. When the ship is on course and the bracing is done, there's only two things left to do, and that is to set the fore and the main courses, and then we just sail away.